everyone should listen carefully to these couple of sentences, because this is sort of the framework to our little conversation. Krishnamurti wrote and said that the unknown is not measurable by the known. Time cannot measure the timeless, the eternal, that immensity which has no beginning and no end. But our minds are bound to the yardstick of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And with that yardstick, we try to inquire into the unknown, to measure that which is not measurable. And when we try to measure something which is not measurable, we only get caught in words. So that's what Krishnamurti had said and written a long time ago, and it is with that idea in mind that we go into this conversation. A thought has emerged that the purity of process, and this is not aimed at you, Cliff, is rather misguided by now, so we think. We are almost at the edge of creating a new paradigm. Perhaps some of us are this new Aquarian radiant zone or super self-organized collective. And so we want to expand and go into the new ways concerning ourselves, also with practical solutions in mind. So one of the questions, maybe the first that we want to put to you is, Cliff, what is the intent in orchestrating the whole process of your reports? That's kind of a big one for us right now. Can you expound a bit on that? End of statement.
I can state that you're quite correct. I understand the Krishnamurti thought process and conclusion, and I agree. Especially being a linguist, I find myself swimming in words, so not merely trapped, but surrounded by an ocean. And it's from that I try and extract meaning. My initial thought in continuing the process that I do with the reports comes down to the idea of a sightseeing throw. This is an Aikido throw that takes 20 years to even grasp and maybe 30 years to be able to master this throw. And it is called sightseeing throw for a very particular reason, and we needn't go into the mechanics of the throw itself. But my idea was that as an individual, I am powerless to confront and contend with the evil that other humans are doing in the name of the powers that be and attempting to promote that old paradigm. Yet it must be contended with as part of its process of dying. And that contention must occur because it assists the individuals themselves in standing up and breaking through the old paradigm into the new paradigm. Both those that are doing the contention against the powers that be and those that are within the powers that be that have their evil mindset shattered by the process, and then they can become more human and come along with the rest of us. And my thought was, as in doing my work, that I had reached a conclusion where there was no point to continuing. And universe convinced me otherwise, that it is still within my ability and nature and the need of universe to continue with what I called a sightseeing throw of humanity. And in this idea, what I was going to do was to steal time from the powers that be. And I believe that I'm somewhat successful. In fact, I know I'm successful at some level. I just don't know whether or not that success level is of a size to be meaningful to universe at this point. But the concept is as follows. If I am able to give an accurate prediction, even half of everything I say were to come true, and manifest such that people may see it happen, then in making future predictions, they would assume at least half of that would also come true. If I was able to do that consistently, and then also feed in that information that comes about the time after the powers that be have collapsed, then in essence I have stolen the paradigm from the powers that be and allowed more people to wake up, if that makes sense. The idea being that if they could see that I was accurate about X, Y, and Z, and then I made a statement about Q, and Q was outside of their thinking, they would give it credence and help in its assistance in completion. Make sense? End of statement.
This, to me personally, makes sense. I totally agree with, agree by which I mean I understand exactly what you're conveying. What is now your feeling about the continuation of your work and its impact now? And because we like the notion of the now. We understood now why you wanted to quit in some way and why you then decided to carry on. So how do you now see the impact and the continuation of your work?
I think we need to separate impact and continuation. I think the impact is being felt. In fact, I have some assurances from the model space itself, in which I have to model myself and my own activities just to be able to screen it out from the larger mass of data. I have some suggestions from that part of the process that says that the impact is reaching a certain amount of critical mass. Now, that impact, I believe, will reach its peak likely with this next report. And again, separating impact from continuation, I don't know that they will continue beyond this report. It's a very grueling process. I'm personally very tired of it, although this last report, the one I'm working on right now, has not been as onerous as previous ones and not as energy draining. But nonetheless, it feels as though we are reaching a point of both maximum impact and the finality of the process. And even if I decided that there needed to be another report later, say in winter or something, it may not be physically possible because of the changes that are coming and the alteration and attacks on the source material that I use here on the internet. So all of this seems to be coming together at the same time. The maximum level of impact, my feeling from Universe that perhaps completion is at hand for this process, and then I will be free to move on to something else. Bear in mind I get bored easily, and I've been doing this for over 15 years. And then also the completion of the process itself, whereby the internet is available to me. I suspect that the predictions that we're making now relative to how the socio-political breakdown will occur here in the United States may be more accurate than previous, and some of those predictions include the interruption of our ability to use the internet the way we do now sometime, and that interruption will begin sometime in early 2010. So all of these things coming together at this particular point may actually, it's perfect. It's beautiful in one particular viewpoint from where I sit, and very elegant, and so it just seems extremely fitting. Whereas my previous attempt at stopping the reports where I had reached my goals were obviously not what Universe wanted because of the prompts that I kept getting. And now I think that those prompts are going to fall away as we get into fall and into 2010. End of statement.
Thank you very much. So with this, I believe our small circle of friends here has the answers, the main answers to the very main issue or question that we had. And with this in mind, we can now kind of continue into other lines of inquiries that came from readers, from our zone, and from friends. We have a lot of questions still to come about the practical side of the predictive linguistics. We like to go into, such as the solutions on a technological level, new electrics, the new state of consciousness, the Earth changes, which is the one thing we all agree is given, and also an as of yet not known future outside of the radar of any technique. So we are actually, as a small network here, as a small circle of friends here, we are actually not so much interested about what the webbots tell you or us at the moment, right now, today, on this 1st of September. But we're rather interested about our joint, your and our approach to all of this, and what actions we wish to take based on what we know. We here, this circle of friends, has, of course, we have all studied your reports. We're very well aware of your tremendous work, and we assume that those who will later listen to our conversations have, of course, read the work. That goes without saying.